So I wrote this book with several audiences in mind. I hope the book will be interesting to people who care about history and politics. For them, I want them to see government agencies and their relationship to security in a different light. I want them to think harder about what it means to say that an agency has national security responsibilities. Rather than treating that category as a given, I'd like people to ask harder questions about who made those distinctions and what they mean. By the same token, I want people who study organizations to think about government agencies as being highly imperfect, but also capable of developing and transcending their limitations. For folks who care about the law professors, lawyers, I want them to understand that the doctrines that we develop in courts, sometimes as we interpret the Constitution involving separation of powers, are working in an environment where presidents vary in how much power they have over agencies. So one important strand in the law around separation of powers describes as a goal of this doctrine that the branches be balanced, that one branch not gain too much power at the expense of the other, and so the president does not become all-important relative to Congress. And what I try to depict is a world where, in addition to worrying about court decisions, presidents and Congress are fighting over control of the design of agencies. And the design of agencies can be in some ways a substitute as well as a complement for the formal legal powers that a president has. And then finally, for the general public, I want them to see in a somewhat different light the full range of circumstances that drive the decisions of presidential administrations. This is why I try to juxtapose Franklin Roosevelt and George W. Bush. It's not commonly thought that these two presidents have a lot in common. They are very different in their styles, they're different in their education, they're different in the historical circumstances that they navigated. And yet I think it's telling that in both of their cases there was a deep concern with rewiring the structure of government, reorganizing these agencies. In both Roosevelt's and Bush's case, they took up this fight and invested a lot of themselves and of their administrations in creating these massive government reorganizations.